Hebrew date, the 28th of Kislev, Chavchet Kislev. It marks the Hilula of a Rishon Lezion, a former chief rabbi of Israel. His name was Harav Shlomo Moshe Suzin, Zecher Tzadik Libracha, one of the great rabbis of Jerusalem. In his day, he would become a famous Shluchei Rabbanan, a rabbi, let's say a rabbinic emissary that will travel around different countries raising funds for the land of Israel. He'll become a Rosh Yeshiva also, and he would be appointed the 20th Rishon Lציון, spending an 11-year tenure between the years 1824 till 1835, which I believe was the year which he passed away. Really great rabbi. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, it appears, according to some sources, he was born in Jerusalem, but we know that part of his younger years, let's just say, he spent in Hebron. So for sure he was grew up in holy cities of Israel, because naturally Hebron, Jerusalem, Tzfat, and Tiberias make up the 4 holy cities of Israel. So he very much came from great auspices. His father was a great rabbi also. His name was Rabbi Eliezer Suzin, which is I actually think it's written on his matzeva, as they say, nichtav, Harav Hayeshesh Mitnaheg B'Chasidut. Really, really great rabbi he happened to be himself. And he would become, in of itself, appointed as part of the, let's just say, the Va'ad, the Chavarei of the famous Yeshivat, Kabbalistic Yeshiva, Yeshivat Bet El, and he will work for many, many years with regards to helping the Jewish community settle in the land of Israel, and will take on many, many difficult, let's just say, responsibilities on himself, but was doing a great work in himself. Now, I believe around the year 1778, he would actually, around that specific time in of itself, I think he would travel actually to Turkey, if I'm not mistaken, at this stage in time, as a Shluchei D'Rabbanan. He would actually represent the Hebron community, which was a big responsibility, where they would go, Shluchei D'Rabbanan would go to various different countries, mitchazek those countries with regards to the Judaism, Torah activity in itself, and really strengthen those communities. So he would go in 1778 over there, representing Hebron, raising funds for Hebron. I think come what the year 1802, he would go on another journey. He would go to the northern parts of Africa and also to Libya as a Shluchei D'Rabbanan, as a rabbinic emissary. Over there, this time he would represent the Jerusalem community, raising funds for the holy city of Jerusalem. Then come what the year 1808, it was, I think there was a yeshiva established over there at that point in time called the Yeshivat B'nai Moshe, a place I think we've spoken about on various occasions before, and he would actually head it. There was like a really great benefactor which will help him, but he established his Yeshiva B'nai Moshe and headed it. I think in that same specific year, he would actually now go to Tunis, on another Shluchei D'Rabbanan role to represent the Jewish community, Jerusalem community once again. So took on a lot of responsibilities, and came what? The year 1824, he would reach a pinnacle position at that point in time as being appointed the Rishon Lציון, let's say the head rabbi of Jerusalem, and was an official chief rabbi role to some degree in of itself, which was brought huge prestige and a great responsibility in itself. And I think while he was a chief rabbi, he would go on another Shluchei D'Rabbanan in the year 1826, now once again representing Northern African, going to the North African countries, and at the same time representing as a chief rabbi and really mitchazek those countries. He would serve along other great rabbanim inside the Jewish court while he was at his pinnacle position, including in the Bet Din was Rabbi Chesky Avraham Kohen, Rabbi Yehuda ben Raphael, Rabbi Raphael Navon, another great rabbi we've spoken about before, who was head of Jewish court. He himself happened to be a Rishon Lציון, I think 5 years after Rav Suzin was, if I'm not mistaken. The Rav Shmuel Halevi, another great rabbi, and Ram Halevi, and Rabbi Ser Chaim Sagari, really great rabbis he worked with. Now he passed away on Chavchet Kislev in the English year 1835. He was buried in the Sephardic rabbinic plot area in Har HaZeitim, Mount of Olives burial plot. I believe he was buried next to other great Rishon Lezions. I think he was buried near Rabbi Raphael Moshe Bola, another great rabbi, one of the great rabbis of Jerusalem in himself, and former Rishon Lezion, which has to be. Now, it's actually interesting. At that point in time, when he was a chief rabbi, we're talking about 200 years ago, because now we're in the year 2024, it was a time period where it started to be like many Ashkenazim wanted to come and settle in the land of Israel. Maybe they wasn't as prominent beforehand at that point in time, but there was an Ashkenazi community which was beginning to resurface or being reunited renewed in Israel. And Suzin at that point in time was in contact, I think, with the various different, let's say, heads of the Ashkenazic community in of itself, and really helped them integrate and made sure that they would find their places and re-establish themselves, because obviously throughout the Jewish history, many Ashkenazim would also donate large sums of money to settling Jewish communities in Israel. So he really helped them integrate, and he was like a mediator, an important mediator at that point in time. I think he was in close contact with Rabbi Menachem Mendel Mishkalov, really, really great rabbi he happened to be in of themselves. I think he actually helped within regards to the Chorbat Rabbi Yehuda HaChassid. I think this is famous in the old city of Jerusalem, Beit Knesset, in the center of the Jewish quarter in of itself, which we've spoken about on various occasions before. I think actually Rabbi Aryeh Lev Fromkin actually quotes him with regards to, pays the highest compliments with regards to Rabbi Suzin, and calls him Toldot Chachmei Yerushalayim. Achen Arab Gadol Aram Suzin Gila Ozen Mo Ramam Morenu Harav Menachem Mendel Zerichron Lebracha Ki Ein Kol HaTzedakah Lishmanim Al Pi Chok Nemosam Lachzik Ulitachez B'Batei Dira Hamukdash LeBeit Midrash B'Tfilah. Very interesting enough. So he was really praising, and at that point in time, Rabbi Suzin really helped within regards to the Ashkenazi settlement in Jerusalem, and they, at that point in time, they started beginning to thrive again. I think he sent letters also on behalf of various different countries at that point in time, and he was helping in mediate, let's say disagreements, if there was, and help within regards to forming compromises within regards to various different issues within various different communities, Jewish communities in Israel. Now, his writings, it was reported over, he wrote many great books, which was in manuscript form. I believe many of them got lost, if I'm not mistaken. So there was like a lot of that in of itself. However, he's mentioned, I think, on the various different books among the great rabbis of Yesir all throughout, especially the different countries, including Rabbi Chaim Pelagi, which was called the Chaki Lev, and the Chukei Chaim of Rabbi Avram Gagin, another great rabbi we spoke about, I think, just not so long ago. He was a Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshivat Bet El, if I'm not mistaken, and had prominent positions. Then the Chakrei Lev of Rabbi Yosef Rab El Chazan, another great rabbi. So it was mentioned in various different great books in himself. He gave Haskamot, let's just say agreements and with regards to various different books that came out from the great rabbis of his days, including the Avodot HaTamid, the great book, I think, in the year 1788, if I'm not mistaken. The Peter Shulchan, which was Rabbi Yisrael Mishkolov, another great rabbi, Imam himself, Rabbi Yisrael ben Shmuel Ashkenazi Mishkolov. He happened to be Shuchei de Rabbanan, and I believe a student of the famous Gra, and author of the Pe'at HaShulchan. So he very much gave a haskama within regards to that. And I think some of his manuscripts in of itself is actually still featured inside the Sifriya Hal-Umit, I think, in Israel, the main library. Now, it's actually interesting. Among his descendants included his son, Rabbi Yehuda Suzin, Rabbi Chayididia Suzin, and his grandson, I believe, was another great rabbi, Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Chayididia Suzin, also Rabbi Moshe Shlomo Suzin, and really left great descendants in of itself. Now, the date of his Hilula is Chav Het Kislev, 28th of Kislev, passed away, I believe, in the year 1835. We're talking about, at time of recording, 189 years ago. Don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. The rabbi that was a chief rabbi before him was Rabbi Yom Tov Danon, and the rabbi that would, I believe, take his position afterwards was Rav Yonah Moshe Navon. So he was the 20th Rishon Lecion. Wishing you all well. Take care, and Shabbat Shalom. I'm recording this just before